Let me ask you a question. So here's a hypothetical situation. A lottery company lets you know you've been selected to be the lucky recipient of $30 million. And no, it's not a scam. It's legit. Except in order to receive your winnings, you have to do 30 push-ups every day for the next 30 days. And if you do, your winnings are guaranteed. Just complete 30 push-ups a day for the next 30 days straight, and the life-changing amount of $30 million will be wired straight into your bank account on day 30. Now, assuming that you have arms and you're not in serious ill health, do you think you're going to be able to do all of these push-ups across the required time period? Are you going to need discipline? Will you have to remind yourself, hey, get up off the couch and stop playing computer games? Remember the 30 million? Hell no. For the next 30 days, you're going to do everything in your power to complete 30 push-ups every single day, even if it almost breaks you. Even if you can barely do one push-up, you'd be racking your brains trying to figure out how you'll be spreading them throughout the day. Doing them, a few every hour. You'd be doing everything in your power to find a way. Now you might be wondering, what has this got to do with my ability to be disciplined? But stick around for a moment and we'll get back to why understanding this illustration is the key to building sustainable discipline. What's up, conscious creators? It's Alex here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you how to get unbreakable discipline and determination, so you can stop wondering why you can't commit to all those things you feel you want to commit to, and start working on things consistently every day, so the results eventually begin to compound and you begin flying towards what you really want to manifest in your life. Because this used to be a huge problem for me. Back in my 20s, I finished school and I went to music college. And it's safe to say I completely and utterly fucked it up. I was interested in music. I wanted to pursue it as a career. I spent most of the time just messing around in classes, sleeping under the desk and bunking off to go skate and smoke weed. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun for a while, until I woke up one day and realised I had years worth of coursework to complete and hand in. And the deadline was next week. Needless to say, it was going to be a completely impossible task. And needless to say, I completely failed the course. And some would say wasted an entire 2 years of my life at college with nothing to show at the end of it. Well, at least I learned a few lessons and can tell you the story here, eh? So, what eventually moved me from being a complete slacker with the motivation of a stoned brick to being someone who often clocks up 60, 70, 90, sometimes 100-hour work weeks, 7 days a week, who exercises, meditates, visualizes, journals, and works on projects every single day without fail, and who actually enjoys it. Now, obviously back then, I had a litany of bad habits, and I had suppressed trauma and anxiety and many other things that contributed to a complete lack of discipline. But there was also one other thing that I lacked, the most important thing that keeps anyone unwaveringly determined. A clear vision of the future that I could find extremely compelling and captivating, one that I could actually believe in. Sure, I really enjoyed making music and I wanted to be a music producer. I had all these ideas in the back of my mind about making music and people listening to it and eventually being booked for some gigs and making some money. But it was a kind of hazy and abstract vision. There wasn't any real emotional oomph behind it. I didn't know whether it would really be possible for me. I thought, well, it might be, but I equally thought it might just be too hard, and I thought, well, even if I were to finish this course, I get what? A music tech diploma. How is that actually going to help me? What label or promoter is going to book me because I have a music tech diploma? It's hardly even worth the paper that it's written on. And so if I were to weigh up this hazy idea of my life having fun, making music and DJing against the short-term pleasure of skating, smoking weed, laughing until my sides hurt, I obviously, we can both see which one won out. And the latter one won out almost every time. School wasn't fun at all, and I was bullied and scared about where the next flying fist or jabbing elbow would come from. And now I was in college, now I was liked and I had cool friends and I was having so much fun and it was tangible, it was real. So what do you think I could more easily place my faith in? What do you think I was going to do? So back to the lottery win. The hypothetical situation where you need to do a marathon of push-ups to collect the winnings. Yes, it's an extreme hypothetical situation for illustrative purposes, but what is important in this situation? Number one is that it creates a compelling vision of the future. Just get through the push-ups and then there's 30 million in the bank. You can easily imagine how that would change your life, what you would do, where you would go. You believe it would bring you pleasure and enjoyment on some next level. And number two, you believe that it will happen. You can see in this situation, hypothetically, it's legit. There's no reason to believe that as long as you complete the push-ups, you won't get the money. Complete the 30 days and the 30 million is mine. So you barely need any discipline. You have a compelling vision of the future that you can believe in and that overrides your procrastination and gives you the energy every day to apply yourself and get it done. Now imagine if I had a compelling vision of my future that I could believe in when I was back in music college. What if instead of it being a hazy abstract thing in my mind that I could have little faith in that I could actually do, I actually thought about it being genuinely possible. What if I cemented the idea that it's actually something that I really wanted to have fun working towards? What if I thought about days on end making music in a nice house paid for by handsome rewards for DJing out, where I would get to have so much fun dropping tunes to a huge appreciative crowds and they're all cheering and seeing the smiles on their faces as I get to unleash my unbridled creativity without ever having to go to a monotonous, boring job ever again? And what if I knew completing my music diploma would actually really help me? That if I really concentrated, I'd be able to learn valuable skills, mixing, recording, music management skills, all things that would serve me in my music career for the rest of my life. That just completing it and getting that certificate would build the self-belief that I can apply myself and get things done. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't regret my decisions in life, but for illustrative purposes, do you think I would have made some different decisions? Do you think I would have applied myself and had a bit more discipline? Hell yeah. And so here's the real crux of it. If you haven't got a compelling enough reason to be disciplined, you'll never be disciplined. Again, if you haven't got a compelling enough reason to be disciplined, you'll never be disciplined. And if you haven't got the self-belief that there's any chance that you'll be able to do the things to arrive at your compelling future, you'll lack the determination to really put in the hours to propel you towards it. Now, sure, I'm a massive proponent of doing things because we enjoy them. It doesn't take a lot of discipline to do something that you simply enjoy for the sake of doing it. But let's face it, that's not what we're talking about here in its entirety, and not what you probably have a problem with. We're talking about the things that are more challenging to simply enjoy and do with some kind of song and dance. The things that you find boring or banal, or the things that you will truly enjoy once you get into the swing of them, but right now you're pushing outside your comfort zone. If you really don't believe that exercising or meditating every day will really lead to good health benefits that will truly benefit you, you're not going to be motivated to ever do it. If you can't quite see how the course you're doing is ever really going to amount to anything that brings you any joy, you won't be that committed. And if you're unsure whether that project or business you're working on is really going to lead anything and benefit you or anyone else in a massive way, you're not going to put in enough work to really get it off the ground. So the biggest lesson here is, in order to be disciplined and create unbreakable determination, you need to establish a compelling reason why you're doing it. You need to know in your heart that pursuing whatever you're pursuing is really worth it, and squeeze out every compelling possibility to give you the emotional energy and charge you and propel you forward and keep you focused. How is what you're really doing going to affect you? What exciting things could become possible if you really applied yourself? And how does it feel to think about those things? If it's your health, realize and know in your heart that a healthy body and mind creates a life of exponentially greater joy than a life on the couch slowly creeping towards disease and ill health. If it's changing a habit, really get into the reasons why you want to change it, and know in your heart that it's the better, more enjoyable option to do things a different way than what you've been doing them so far. No, the way that you know is going to end up with you hitting a brick wall if you don't change. If it's a project or a business, really spend some time tapping into sketching out why you're really doing this. What kind of money are you going to make, and when? Who are you going to help? How are you going to impact their lives? What joy are you going to bring them, or what suffering could you help lift them out of? What kind of joy is it going to bring you? What opportunities could it bring up for you? What excitement, inspiration and joy and adventure could it open up if you consistently applied yourself enough for this thing to really compound and really take off? And most importantly, you need to be able to feel it. It needs to be something that you can generate emotions around, just visualizing around it or thinking around it. When you're asking yourself these questions, also hold some awareness in your body and feel the emotion. Feel what it would feel like to work towards a compelling future, having a ton of enjoyment in the process. Now, I know things aren't always going to be super clear from the get-go, but for many, this is an ongoing process. It took me years to get to the level of drive and determination I have now, and it's gone up and down in phases depending on my level of clarity and belief. But I've worked on it. Over time, I've gradually found more pieces of the puzzle and slotted them in place, and overall, it's been an exciting adventure. And with all of these things, take the time to build the self-discipline around applying yourself and moving forward. You know, there are many ways in which you can build self-belief, and I'll be making videos on them in the future. So if you want to get stuck into that, so you can integrate this and other keys to having unbreakable discipline, then subscribe. But there are things that you can do now to start building that self-belief, like practicing affirmations and visualizations, starting a brag book where every day you list 3 of your achievements, big or small, building up the internal confidence that you do take action and you can make things happen. And if you think you might have some internal blocks that are constantly throwing up negative beliefs that prevent you from taking action, you can find the help that you need, perhaps in the form of coaching or therapy sessions, to help you remove those blocks and progress forward with newfound confidence. Let us remember, there are people who work in hospitals, helping those in great need under great pressure and applying themselves every single day with unwavering determination under great stress, because they have people to serve. They're not thinking about discipline, they're thinking about those that they're helping, and that gives them insane amounts of energy and determination. And there are activists who tirelessly campaign every single day because they believe in their cause. They believe they have the power to make a positive influence, and they believe that if they don't act, other people will lose out due to their inaction. There are those who run businesses that believe that their product or service is going to help people, who have thought about it, who have thought about how it's going to impact and change people's lives for the better. And what these people will miss out on if they don't step up to the plate and really scale this thing. And there are people that realize that looking after their health and not having all these bad habits that consume them is absolutely essential in catalyzing these endeavors and enjoying life to the fullest in the process. So what is it for you? I'm not saying you have to be a hero or do something massive from the get-go, or suddenly have this huge lofty vision about changing in your mind's eye. But big or small, you should have something even small that can affect one person. Even something small can take someone from rock bottom to a more compelling future. Because even if it's currently covered up in self-doubt and insecurities, there is something there that you really want to do, that you've been secretly thinking about. And it might take a while to really flesh it out and get some momentum and let it come to full fruition. It might take a while to really get clear, and you might have to follow your intuition for a while without knowing exactly how or exactly why you're doing a particular thing at a particular time. But the pieces of the puzzle will come together as you learn what works and what doesn't, and as those lessons will become invaluable when you really start doing the big stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other proven ways that add on to everything I've said to increase discipline, and there are extremely important other factors. But what I've been talking about is the foundation. So take some time, write or draw it out, brainstorm, use your imagination. Do whatever helps you to really go in on the why behind what you want to be disciplined with, and whatever helps you to bring up those positive emotions and believe in a more compelling future than not taking the action. And then you can build on that. You can also do the other things that are going to help you on your journey, like eliminating distractions, closing all your social media windows, putting your phone in another room for undivided periods of focused attention on your deep work, and downloading a Pomodoro timer app on your phone and using this proven method of 25-minute work periods with a 5-minute break period to really rocket propel your productivity. The chances are you have your brain wired for distraction. Most of us do, with countless social media notifications, specially designed to grab your attention and get your dopamine spiking. You might have to do a bit of resetting to get back to a place of normality if your focus is all over the place. And these are all things I'll go into detail on future videos. So if you want more of that, so you can create more of what you want in your life and have a positive impact on the world, be sure to subscribe and hit all on that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new videos helping you, yeah, that's you, hi you, with conscious personal growth.